This is how Leona and Huey Dewitt'S race car looks like. It has been through some changes, big improvements on the engine department, and of course the chassis has been redone, lighted up, and I will go forward from here and share some of the changes that was done, if it will allow me, because I think there's a limit on how many times this computer can take so many segments of spliced together film of this beautiful race car. Anyway, here it is, and we'll go from there and enjoy. This was the first version of this car after it's been changed from a mild street car to this THRU. It is green. At that time, it's actually dark green. It's very mean looking, as you can see here. I don't know if the color shows. It's very clean, beautiful bodywork, and the car was fast. But some issues in regards to who controls the car, ownership. There's some dispute with that, and this one didn't last too long, and it changed configuration to what you will see next. Another angle of this beautiful car. This from the driver's side, and you can see the nice wheel layout, how it's tucked in and fills up the fender wells, the front runners. Car was gorgeous. And continue on. As you can see, now the car became white. Here it went, and got things looking up. And here's the car in Las Vegas, and in Irwindale, chassis is looking good. There were issues with getting it right, and fortunately Big Ed, who was one of the premier chassis guys, got involved with this car. Unfortunately, he passed away soon thereafter, and but he gave us a pretty good indication of what this car can do, and here we are. It's sad, but it turned to gold after this incident here. All right, and everything was cleared out, so now we have the car. Here's the engine combination when it became white. Before that, green. Single dominator on a motorsport, highly modified motorsport intake. As you can see right there, still a single dominator 1050. Modified by C&J Engineering out there in Los Angeles. Guys did an excellent effort on that doggone carburetor. Responded great. Okay, so 60 foot was impressive, considering the car was heavy at 3,080 pounds. Here's another picture of the engine on the front, right front, and here we are left front. Here's the Blue Thunder head with the plate installed. By the time I cut, I'll be right up here. No welding on top of the head is required. And remember, and look how high that is from the stock port location is right about down here. Now with the plate, I'm barely covering the bottom of the port, and that's what it needed to be done. Now here's a side shot. You see two plates, one in line up with the valve cover rail, and the one slightly above it. That allows me to raise the port big time. Now here's the heads as it was completed on the chassis. You can see the spacer right there. This modification netted me about 35 CFM, okay, from the standard port location. That is a big jump. Remember, when you buy an AFR or TFS head from a 205 or 200 to a 220 or 210, it's less than 10 CFM, perhaps 8 CFM. This is 35 CFM. So when you swap heads, to go from a 220, well, from a 200 to a 210 to a 220, about less than 10 CFM. This is 35. Alternating port location. There it is. Besides a peripheral port, small block Chevy, the plate is right there. Okay, and here is the rough casting when I had it dummied up. Look at the plate. Okay, if you look at the end of the valve cover, pretty much that's where it's at. Because now the plate, the inside port plate became part of the valve cover rail. Okay, because I'm thin, very, very thin on the very top of the port there. Like I said, no welding required. Here it is on a flow bench, rough. This is how much I filled it up to see where my low part of the port would be. Remember, this has already been ported by me before. Okay, and now you're looking at, by the time I'm done, about 420 CFM. Right about there. That's where I'm gonna be. This is just moving the port up without the plate. Now there's the plate. Glued in, and there it is. I blurred the intake port configuration. Now here's the difference between a Obtw Neil that's flowing about 435 and a Blue Thunder head, which is really nothing but a glorified Cleveland head with small chambers. If you notice, this is a little higher now than the Obtw head. The reason the Obtw heads flowed a little bit more because he has a straighter port to the intake valve. The Blue Thunder kind of turned a little bit. It turned to the left in order to get to the valve. This one's more straight through. Just something to think about. Oh, there you go, close up. Okay, I did this. It's more rounded here. I was trying to get as much port volume as I can for the RPMs we're going to turn. But if you notice the port floor on the Obtw Neil, this is slightly higher. Okay, and like I said, the flow difference is this has a little bit of turn to it, which tells me it has a little bit more swirl, but this is more of a straightforward to the valve. By the time you see the springs offset to one side. Here it's straight out. Okay, more like straight through to the port, hardly in a turn. That's where you pick up an extra 10-15 CFM with the Obtw Neil. Remember, it's not all about the flow. It's the condition of the charge column. Is it really mixed up thoroughly or not? Now here it is with the plate on, and I'm trying to modify the distributor to clear the sheet metal. And here it is with a flat thing, flat distributor. Is for horsing around, make it look different. Beside the small block Chevy, right there. Okay, so the plate is obvious, and by the time it's painted black, you can't tell. There you go. I think that's it. All right. So think about this, guys. If you want to run a Blue Thunder head, or if you have them, plate it. As you can tell, the top of the plate there, the valve cover has been machined off, so I can allow this to even up with the head. Okay, bye-bye. What you're looking at are two Blue Thunder heads, both 3/6s, but the one on the left, this one here, is a casting that I feel was eventually for the 4.2 or 4.3. Okay, so I use a plate here to increase the port by roughly about 450, almost half an inch. Okay, or 475.475. This one here will go above 5. Okay, so here's another angle. You can see right there. After I put the plate, I machine off this valve cover rail. But this one here, when you machine the valve cover rail, you can really go real high to rival the SC1 or a Raceport SC1. So, mind you, there are two Blue Thunder castings for the 3/6s. The one on the left is the one with the higher potential. Here we go, side to side. Both are untouched, but now you see how high I can go up. Even by the time I machine the valve cover rail, I can go up some more. There you go. That's right side up. And the port could actually be a little smaller if it's higher. So you get port velocity. Hardly any losses for everything else. Here's another angle of both heads. Oh, beyond that. Okay, so just look at that, and when you buy these castings, just make sure you have the better castings. I have to have the part number there, but what you can tell is that stock port is about that distance to the valve cover rail. The other casting is that farther away. By the time you put the spacer plate, it is over ½ an inch high. Okay, something to think about, guys.
Okay, Huey, here's your bottom end. Look at all the holes that we had to cut through the counterweight to make it balance for the lighter connecting rod. And when you look through here, you can see the cut down counterweights, cut down throws. Of course, you had your lighting holes in the center. So you look at all the rods. Now you can see again how it's been narrowed down, and then the counterweight right there is cut down. You can see it big time right here. The counterweight's cut down big time. So that's there. The throws are cut. Okay, so this is a lot lighter now, way lighter.
This is Huey's Mustang. If these guys would get out of the way.
Good luck. He was already eating. He was already out.